YouTube family. Today we are going to be making this perfect circle tutu. Stay tuned and we'll go over all the supplies and what you do to make this. Be right back. You will need the tool for whichever color tutu you're making. I use this for the waistband. I use this size for anything that is above 18 months. Anything smaller than an 18-month, I use this size, this size is 1.5. This size is 2.5. And I got those at Hobby Lobby. You're going to need some scissors, a lighter. I always have an extra pair of scissors, something to measure your tool width, or if you want to do how I use it, you will need ribbon. Let me get my ribbon. And I use a wood burner to cut my ribbon, and you will see why in just a moment. But I will be using the gold ribbon. Let's get started. Okay, this is one method of cutting it. Now we do know that the tool is 6 inches wide. Okay, so once you cut the tool to the length that you need it, it's going to be 6 inches wide. So you're going to need to cut your ribbon 6 inches. So what I do for my tool, for my ribbon, I take it and I measure it at 6 inches, which is right about here. And I take my wood burner and I cut it with my wood burner. It gives it a nice and clean cut. And you don't have, and then at that point, I don't have to burn the edges because the wood burner will give it a nice, even cut. You see that? Nice and even. And I just do that all the way. Now, you have to be careful with the wood burner because it is a wood burner. So that means it can burn wood. It is extremely hot. Now, if you don't have a wood burner, I'm not saying go out and buy a wood burner. If you don't have a wood burner, you can most definitely cut it at 6 inches and continue to cut it at the 6 inches. And then take your lighter and burn the end. Okay, here we go. And you would just fray the edges. I'm sorry, not fray the edges, but you would burn the edges. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and cut all my ribbon, and we'll come back for the next step. Okay, to cut the tool, I have a piece of foam board that has, it just says 3T ribbon, 17 inches. That lets me know that since it has a ribbon on there, I don't need to cut it 18 inches. So this is 17 inches. Excuse me. And I take the tool. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but you take it right up to the edge, right here to the edge, right there. And you can put a clip there or a rubber band there. What I normally do is put a rubber band on that part just to hold it down. Let's put a rubber band over here. Hold it right there. Make sure it's nice and straight and neat. And then you're just going to wrap it around all the way around. Just keep wrapping it around until you finish the tool or however many strips you have. And once you're done, you're going to cut it. But you're going to just keep wrapping it completely around. Whichever way is comfortable. Sometimes I do it like this, just lay it down and bring it under. Sometimes I just bring the board, let the board wrap itself around. However, just as long as you try to keep it straight and neat. That way you'll have nice and even cuts. You don't have to worry about it. It's going to be have one piece longer than the other. Just like that. And keep going. Come to the end of our, the end of our row. So I'm going to throw that away. Then I'm going to take a rubber band and put it on here to hold it. Now this last little piece is going to go past the edge here. So what I just do, I just go ahead and cut that off. And you can keep it if you want to. You think you can use it for something else. But this one is so small, I don't think I'm going to need it for anything else. So I just try to cut it as close to the edge and as straight as possible. It's so light, I almost missed it. You see that? There we go. So I'm going to throw it away. And then what you do is I take my finger. Let me see. I'll take my finger and go right up under there to make sure I got all the tulle. Then I'll take my scissors and I will slowly cut because I want to get it as close to the edge and as straight, because as straight as it is, it just looks neater. So I'll just keep doing it till I get to all the, then I turn around and do the same thing to this side, the sewing machine. And I am going to be using my Brother CE 1100 PRW. I have my tension at a 2. It's normally between a 2 and a 3. And I have my stitch length at 2.5. I will be doing a straight stitch. I have gold ribbon in my bobbin, and I have light pink at the top right there. And I do have this bucket on the back. Don't know if you're going to be able to see this bucket because of the angle of the camera, but I do have that at the back to catch the tulle as I sew it. And I am going to see if I can bring you guys in just a little bit closer so that you can see what I will be doing here. And give me just a second. So I have the tulle already cut, as we've already done. And you're going to take the ribbon. This is the glitter side. You're going to have the glitter side down. You're going to go over to 1/2 inch, which is about right here. And you're going to take the tulle. And you may not be able to see the tulle exactly on camera. And you are going to do a straight stitch. Make sure to line it up very well, as I have done here. So as you see, I have it at the very edge. Put your presser foot down. You're going to back stitch. I like to forward stitch one time and back stitch one more time. Now you don't have to do that. That is just what I like to do. And then you will just go ahead and straight stitch, holding it as tight as possible. Now what you will not do, I will suggest you not to look at your needle. Try to keep it lined up to whatever line you have right there. And also what you can do is put a piece of painter's tape and you can just look at that if the lines confuse you, because sometimes you'll look at this line and jump over to this line. But if you want to, you can put painter's tape down, and that helps a lot. And then right here, I am going to back stitch. When I come to the end of the ribbon, I back stitch twice. Then you're going to go over, take your next ribbon. I do what we call a chain. What do you call it? A chain stitch. And what that means is I just keep stitching all of these until I'm complete with that side. Then I go ahead and cut it. I'll show you here in just a second of what I'm talking about. So right here, take it to the edge here again, trying to make sure it's all at the same length. Right here, back stitch, stitch, back stitch. Then you're gonna keep on that line there. Sometimes it'll go a little bit over, but that's okay because once we make the circle, you won't see that. Back stitch, stitch, back stitch. That's just my preference. You don't have to do that. So then I move that over so that it'll just continue to flow in the bucket. I don't have it on the floor for the sake of this video, but normally I have it on the floor. That way you don't want your tool to get on the floor, because if it does get on the floor, that tool has the tendency to pick up whatever you have on your carpet, whether it's hair, whether it's paper, anything you have on the floor it is. So I got this little bucket from the Dollar Tree. I keep it washed and clean. I try not to let anything else get into it. That way it'll just be for my tool, to catch the tool. And I have a bigger one for when I'm doing the ribbon trim tutus. So I'm going to show you one more, then I'm going to do the rest of these off camera. And when we come back, I'll show you how I apply it to the tutu. Stitch, back stitch, stitch, back stitch. Oops, I went back too far. Let's go ahead and take this one off. Cut it here. So this is what it's called, what I mean by a chain. So it's all chained together. You see? Can you see that? So what I do is once I'm done, I go in here and I take the scissors and I cut it. And then once I cut all of them here, once I've had cutting all of them, I go back and I do the other end of the tool here. So, and I will go ahead and continue to sew these off camera. And once I come back, we will put this tutu together. Thanks, guys. Okay, we have all of our ribbon sewn onto our tool here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take you're going to take the edge of your ribbon right there, and you are going to put a dab of hot glue right there on the edge, right there. And you are going to take the ribbon and you will line those lines up right there, what you've sewn together, where you sewed the two together. And they should line up. If you did a straight line, they should line up perfectly. And you will put them together like that, and look at there, you got a perfect circle. Okay, you want to make sure you get those edges good so that they don't rise up on you. Okay, make sure they're good, and now you have a perfect circle. Okay, and there we have it. Now we're going to get ready to put this on the waistband, and we'll be almost done. The waistband on the mannequin, we are going to go ahead and add the tulle, and I'm going to show you real quickly how I add it. Now with the big waistband, you can count how many slots that you have that you're going to need. Sometimes I go from like up one row, up the next row, or sometimes I just go down, go to the next row, whichever is easiest for you. But what you're going to do is you're going to take the ribbons and you're going to, the tulle, and you're going to bring these ribbons, the ribbon ends together. Hold this part in your finger like this. Go under, take that in under here like that. Bring it up, find the middle again, like that, making sure you keep these even, and you're going to bring it through, and pull it down. Don't pull it too tight because then you will pull the elastic on there, And that's how you do it. And let's do that one more time. And I am going to zoom out just a little bit. See if I can turn you a little bit closer. Okay. There we go. So again, you will take the mesh ribbon that you have right here, bring those together like so. Make sure they're even. Get the middle of it right here. Hold it. You can put your finger in the middle there. Go underneath right here. Put that there. Pull it through. Make sure you find the middle again. You can also, what I do is like, I don't know if I can turn you down right here. I just make sure that these are still even. If you have to pull them a little bit, make sure that they're still even together. Then you're going to go back up here to where you have the hole. Well, not the hole, but the middle right here. And you're going to take it, bring them through here, and pull them down. Sorry, guys. And there you have it, another one. All right. And you will do that whole bottom row. Then you can go up to, I'm going to go up, do all the bottom. Then I'm going to go up to the top, and so on and so on. Okay. And till we filled it. But let me show you that one more time. Okay. And then I'll do the rest of them off camera. Take these, bring them together, make sure that they are even. And when you bring them together, you're going to take your finger, make sure you have it here. Loop it under here. Put your finger through there, making sure to keep them even. Make the hole just big enough that you can grab these two together. Pull them down just ever so slightly. And there you have it. Okay, I hope that helps. So I'm going to complete this and be right back. Quickly show you guys how the rows should look when you go straight across. You see how they all here, and then I go up to this row because this row is complete. It just makes for the tutu to look fuller and a lot neater when you know, stay consistent with your rows. You can go, you know, from this row to that row, you know, up like this. But for me, I always mess that up. I'm gonna be honest. I don't do that. So I just go completely around, and I'm gonna show you what it's looking like so far. So there we have it. Be back in a bit when it's done.